welcome back to Teensy Vintage. We're going to do a 2-page spread in my junk journal today. Junk journals are just homemade journals made out of old mail, pieces of paper, cards, envelopes, whatever you can find and stapled together. And I'm going to use Mr. Vincent Price and some kitty cats as my focal piece today. I love this image so much. I'm sure it's from a movie or a show. I'm not sure which one. If you know which one it is, please let me know in the comments. We're going to just fussy cut him and the cats out, and they're going to serve as our focal point for this spread. So I'm going to collage some miscellaneous papers using my Scotch purple glue stick. And we're just going to give this page in particular a little more stability. It's a very thin kind of paper. It was a flyer, which had a cool design on the other side, so that's why I put it in this book. But as a substrate for collage and mixed media, it's not so great. So we're adding some accounting pages, crossword puzzle, and some just good old text. Smoothing that out. I really love just pasting paper. There's something about it that is very soothing and calming. I think it reminds me of being a little kid, just gluing things. Today we're working in a warm color palette with Dina Wakley Media. Purple, blue, green is usually what I use, but today I said, you know what? We're going to do reds and orange and yellows and even a pink. I've got all the specific colors listed in the description below if you're curious. So I'm just adding color and having a great time. I really love the way these paints blend together and just really give a nice 1-2 punch. We'll dry everything. And then it's time to do some stenciling. My corners curled up a little bit with the dryer and the heat. I'm trying to uncurl them there. This is a new stencil from the Crafter's Workshop. Whoa, I accidentally let out a huge blob of glue. So I'm going to use my stencil here, being sure to get really good coverage to cover up my yellows and oranges and pinks. But yeah, that was way more glue than I meant to use. So while this dries, I'm going to go ahead and get out a different journal and use up some of that extra glue. That's a Dilutions journal, the ones with the really nice cardboard covers that you can personalize. So I went ahead and used some of that excess paint to gussy up a different journal. Okay, now we're back. I am also using some more of the white paint just to kind of smooth out some of the stark black ink and some of that crossword puzzle, just to kind of soften it a little bit. All right, now we're going to figure out where to put Vincent. And he looks pretty good right there. That die cut is great. And for some reason, I completely forget to put the die cut down. And I glue Vincent down. And then it's like, oh, dang. I forgot you die cut. And I was like, well, maybe I can put it on top. Nah, didn't like it. That's okay. Here we're using some 49 in Market washi tape. I love this washi tape. It looks like little stamps, but they're just fields of color. This particular strip went really well with my color scheme. It even added in a couple greens, which I didn't mind. So now I'm taking some Payne's Gray acrylic paint, and I want to kind of give some depth so that it looks like there's some shadow or some, just kind of some space. And it takes me a little while. And I remember, you know what? Sometimes you got to just see what happens. If you don't like it, you can cover it up a little bit and start over. So that's what I did. I took the cosmetic sponge that I had used previously to put the white paint down with the stencils, and without refreshing it, just used the paint that was still on it to work together with the Payne's Gray. And it gave this really cool mottled shadow effect. And I just kept layering and layering until I was happy. Just adding, subtracting, until I got a look that I was really happy with. It was kind of painterly and kind of moody, which was great. It was a good contrast to the really bright, warm colors on this page. I love Payne's Gray. It's got that nice blue tint to it. I just like gray in general, but this particular gray is one of my favorites. And then I go ahead and start softening some of the other edges as well. And just, again, adding smudging. And you can see on the cosmetic wedge there, it's getting a little gray in and of itself, and that's fine. It's all blending together so that it's looking nice and smooth, very intentional, and just adding that depth, bringing the image of Vincent forward and pushing back the really loud background that I made. So now I'm kind of darkening up the edges, adding a little more shadow to the opposite side of the page, just kind of balancing out the pages so that they flow together really nicely. The cosmetic sponge is good stuff. Now I'm just using some more of that Payne's Gray to do some mark making, little hash marks, which I really love. We'll also just trying to find some nice text to put on there. So I went to the Tim Holtz snarky clippings, and I found one that really seemed to work very well with this particular image. Trim off the edges. This one got printed a little funny, but that's okay. We just use our scissors and we'll outline it a little bit in white with our Posca paint pen and ultra fine. And do a little more mark making over there. Unfortunately, it kind of splooged out on me, so we just wipe it up, smooth it out, and I think we're done. Dry everything. It feels done to me. I'm sure I could have continued adding more marks and more designs, but you know what? Less is more. So sign it, date it, and we're good to go. Thanks for watching.